What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 16th day of September, and here we are. We got about 8 hours and 35 minutes left in the day. We are a little bit underway this week. We've got about 5 days, 9 hours left in the week here. Nice little finish last week. It would have been nicer if we left more of a body and less of a wick, but that's okay, right? I am under the assumption that that's the low, that we're not going to go lower, but anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. I mean, if we look at this from a relative low to a relative high here, we kind of stopped in a rather obscure area, right? We didn't stop at the 786. We didn't stop in the golden ratio zone. We went below it. It's not that this is impossible. I've seen this happen plenty of times, um, but it's not common. It's just not common. Sometimes this is a forewarning of lower prices to go, but sometimes you do just find support here and you move up higher. I mean, that was a very nice reaction that we had. Very solid body up. We did give it back over the next 3 days, which is kind of sad to see, but overall we still have higher lows. We've got the FOMC meeting tomorrow on the 17th, and I'm assuming, I think that most people are maybe like you and me. They're just waiting to see what happens, right? But there are some people who think very passionately that once the rate cuts happen, we're going to pump. Once the rate cuts happen, we're going to dump. Regardless of what happens, I'm expecting that we dump, but I'm more just waiting to see what happens. And when I say dump, it's not going to be like a huge market crash. It's just going to be like we're going to move down a little bit, right? Like this. This is a dump, just a little bit. Nothing crazy. Nothing like this. We're not going to see like 2 days of just madness like that. No. What I'm trying to say here is, regardless of what happens, regardless of what people are telling you or saying or proclaiming in the comments tomorrow, because of tomorrow's volatility and price action, just be patient, wait it out, right? We're likely going to go higher in a matter of no time at all. I think that tomorrow's rate cuts will cause a little bit of tension in the markets, and then going into next week and the end of the month, going into the end of this year, things are going to be fantastic. So just hold out for that. Don't bite the bullet one way or another. Let's look at this on the 1 hour time frame and do some TA now. Okay, so looking at this here, looking at the 1 hour RSI, I must admit I actually like this configuration. I like the higher lows. I like the higher highs. It looks like you do want to continue moving higher. Maybe move down a little bit. Perhaps the price is a little lower by the time most of you watch this, but I think you do want to move higher overall, which is nice to see. If we're looking at this on a 4 hour time frame here, we are in an area that you like to find support, but typically looking at the 4 hour, I would think that you go a little bit lower. I skipped right around all the other indicators, didn't I? I just went from the RSI from the 1 hour to the 4 hour. Looking at the stochastics, I like the RSI here as well. 32 minutes left. It'd be nice if this 1 hour candle could close green. The MACD overall is bearish, but I do like it looks like we're trying to move higher. It doesn't give me hope that we're going to move up too much higher though before tomorrow, so I do think we will see a little bit of a shakeout. 4 hour time frame here. Stochastics are pointed up. Hey, that's nice. 32 minutes left. Let's see what we're capable of in the next 32 minutes. If we can close here or higher, I think the stochastics would then be crossing into the band, and typically that means that we'd see some kind of growth. So maybe going into the end of the day, we would see growth back up to this 1.2 cent area or higher or just below there, something around that. The MACD is right at this area to find support as well, right at the 0. I like the 4 hour. I don't really like the 1 hour, but I kind of like the 4 hour, if we're being honest. And you got lower lows here in the RSI with higher lows in the price. I think it looks good. You could go a little bit lower. That's the only thing I'm thinking with the RSI. But with these other two indicators, it makes me think that you're going to find support right now, right here, right now. Let's see how the next 30 minutes closes. If we drop over the next 30 minutes, then that'll change the stochastics and the MACD, I think, and the RSI. It'd all be more bearishly pointed. But if we're looking at this here on the daily time frame, rejected the overbought zone, MACD stalling a little bit. You could get a little cross, or maybe you touch tips and then you continue to rally, something like that. That could promote a few days of stagnation, which is kind of what I'm expecting, right? We're probably, depending on what we do between now and tomorrow's announcement in the FOMC meeting with the rate cuts, depending on what we do between now and then, I would think that once the rate cuts happen, we drop a little bit, right? We drop a little bit more, but really we're just going to configure ourselves, consolidate more going into next week, and then next week going into the end of the month, we should rally. And OnyxCoin, whenever it rallies, it actually rallies pretty damn fast, right? Like we've seen very fast growth in the past. This is just typically how it moves. I think there is a lot of accumulation going on, and I do believe that it's obvious whenever you observe the volume. There's no volume on the way down. There's only volume on the way up. There's definitely some acquisition going on here. What I love about OnyxCoin is that even though it's grown so much and it's largely outperforming most coins from the bear market lows at the end of 2022 to the current price across the board for any coin, it's largely outperforming all of them, you guys. It's still got a $392 million market cap, which is very low. It's a very low market cap. You got a lot of room to grow here. Not a lot of volume right now, but again, you're being boring. We're not going to judge you on that too much. I think that once you start getting exciting, whether it's to the upside or downside, that volume will help validate whatever movement you're getting. $392 million, you know, a 10x from here would put us at 3.9 billion. A 100x is 39 billion. A 200x would be about $80 billion, right around there. I think that for any altcoin in their first bull market, and this is our first bull market, right? We came out, I mean, if this thing came out at the very end of the last bull market, or kind of in the midst of the bear market even. So this is your first bull market. It's pretty difficult for any coin to see a market cap above $60 billion in their first bull market. It's difficult enough alone to get to a $10 billion market cap for most coins in their first bull market, but I think this thing will, and I think it'll see dramatically higher prices than that even, valuations than that. But when we start talking about things that are over like 60 billion, 40 billion even, it's getting a little bit complicated. So just understand from here at about a 1.1 cent price, I do believe we have 100x. I even believe we have 200x potential. I very much do. 100x would put us at $1.10, $1.12 essentially. 200x would put us at double that, right? So 224, 220, something like that. Anything really past that, it's not objectively impossible, but statistically, practically, it's unlikely. Okay, it's very, very unlikely. So I do expect that we have immense growth between now and the end of the cycle. I would expect that we are at least above a dollar by the end of the cycle. From here, that's not 100x at $1, but it's pretty damn close. If we take our fibs into consideration, I don't know if I should take that high to low when considering it. I don't know if that has much merit, honestly. Because OnyxCoin now, it's just a different project than it was back here. It's a different project operated by different sources, right? I think that this fib might help us more. And if we look at the end of the cycle, that's $1.03 to $2.60. $2.60 is really, it's kind of pushing through the envelope a little bit, but maybe I would think not so much of this line or this line being an area of resistance. This line, I would think this is an area of resistance. We could stop right here, but this is more of like a zone, okay? We could stop somewhere in between that zone, which is really encouraging. The thought of like having a significant portion higher than a 100x by the end of the cycle. When is the end of the cycle going to be? Nobody knows. We pretend to know, though, right? I'm expecting, based on a lot of different research that we've done on this so far, I really am expecting that April and May is going to be that time for a lot of altcoins and crypto as a whole where we're going to top off. It's very possible that we end earlier. It's even possible that we end later. We've seen some statistics that suggest that we could top off in July, as late as July. But I'm sticking with not the early part, not the late part, but right in the middle. If I'm off, I might be off by a month or two, but ideally we'll see some signals that suggest that the high is coming in. And we'll be talking about that, watching it like a hawk as we get there. But again, as we get there, you guys, that's the ultimate target zone right there. Which again, if we're measuring from here, just to get numerical value put on there, that's about a 90x to 145x to even a 220 something x. Which again, I don't think we'd see something too much above a 200x, but something in between those zones, I think that's more applicable. Between now and the end of October, between now and the end of the year, I would very much expect they're at 26 to 32 cents or higher. We could very well be higher by the end of the year. OnyxCoin has already shown, though, while sometimes it likes to move up at a very rapid pace, a lot of altcoins during this time from like April to May, April to June, they saw higher highs relative to their January, December highs. OnyxCoin was consolidating still. So it's very possible, we make this immense rally by the end of October, maybe even sometime in November, and then going into the end of the year, we're still consolidating. And then we have that consolidation configuration one more time. And then going into the end of the cycle here, we get our last kind of rally up, right? And you have an overall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive wave count, perhaps. Perhaps. I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes, but that's the theory, at least at the moment. I very much do expect that the next target area overall, if you missed it, is 26 to 32 cents. We've done plenty of analysis suggesting that anything in this area is kind of, I wouldn't say improbable. It's just pessimistic, right? What's crazy is that's at 15 cents, that's at 8 cents, we're at 1 cent now, and 8x from here is pessimistic, right? It's pretty crazy stuff. This thing has a lot of potential. We'll see if it goes to the places that we're talking about it to go to. I'm not going to be surprised when we're there. A lot of people I think are going to be celebrating. This happened last time. Whenever we kept rallying, whenever we rallied here, people were telling me, because I'd say the same thing. I'm like, we're not going to brag about it. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be jumping for joy. I mean, like, yes, it'll be fun. We'll pop some champagne. Maybe we'll have a couple drinks. But people are like, you should rub it in their face. They were giving you so much crap. Why don't you? Why don't you talk about it? And it's like, no, because we expected it to happen. It's not a big deal. If I make it a big deal, then I have to make it a big deal when I'm wrong too. And I've been wrong plenty of times, right? And it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal whenever I'm wrong. It's not a big deal whenever I'm right. It's just nice whenever it happens, right? It's not so nice when you're wrong, but at the same time, we've had a long time to accumulate. There's another point that I was trying to make, and I totally got off topic. I can't remember what it is, but we got a lot of time to accumulate here, my friends. The clock is ticking. The time is coming to an end. This is certainly not a pump and dump scheme. This is clearly a long phase of accumulation. And when we're up here, if there are any haters left, all they're going to say is the same thing that they said back here, or the same thing they said back here. You got lucky. You got lucky. Oh, you're lucky because this thing happened. Oh, yeah. Well, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news, right? Whatever the thing is that happens to send the price up here, whatever the news is that justifies it, we called it in the charts. Okay, we called it in the charts. It's not luck. Okay, it's patience. It's execution. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care of yourselves. All right. Be patient. Be patient. Take care. Bye-bye.